Carbon passports coming? 7 wacky ways to reduce carbon footprints. Even climate deniers might even buy into this. Hello, this is Chart GPT today. Getting into that climate change situation, I've got some wacky ways to reduce your carbon footprint. I'm not going to get into the issue whether you're a climate change denier or you're a super greenie. Let's just get into some specific. Here's the hypocrisy of a little bit of this, because it's on several levels. Jeff Bezos has that $500 million yacht, and everybody's complaining, why does he get to float around in a carbon guzzler, and when the average footprint of an American household is 447 times the entire annual carbon that his yacht does. But then we have that same argument. What about middle class people in Western countries are saying they need to reduce? If rich people can get a pass over the middle class, why can't the middle class in Western countries get a pass over third world countries? So there's a bit of hypocrisy in that point there. And of course, CNN is the one pushing these carbon passports. We already see some of this kind of going on in Europe today. Belgium is increasing taxes to encourage alternative forms of travel. France, we heard, banning short-haul flights. Spain to follow. Amsterdam is banning cruise ships from docking to reduce tourism, reduce the economy, and of course they're predicting, one travel agent predicting by 2040 there will be carbon passports. Tourism is generating, they claim, 1/10 of greenhouse gas emissions. Point here on these who produces, it's China. Any program that doesn't include China is not serious. Here you can see the same chart in a pie form. There's a per capita. So obviously US is the biggest one there in terms of the per capita countries that have a problem. And that's interesting that Canada is way up there. I thought Canada was pretty green with Trudeau. What happened to the greenies up? Anyway, here's a breakdown of the gases. Carbon dioxide, obviously fossil fuels, the bigger one there. But the one interesting one here is kind of fits in is the forestry in terms of the types of greenhouse gases created is coming from forestry. That's the decomposing of wood. That tells us we can't have wood burning stone, so we just let it deforest. The deforestation occur in rotting of wood in the forest, but we can't use that wood to put our wood burning stones, which is kind of strange. Transportation is a very small amount, so even if we do stop all the flights, it's going to have very little effect on the whole carbon footprint situation. Of course, EV is the big savior. Unless those are coming from renewables, the EVs are marginally better than on a full life cycle basis than if you just use gas cars. So maybe the focus on gas cars would be better than the EVs, but the powers that be want EVs, so there you go. Here's a report out here that's saying our standard of living must be reduced by as much as 80–85% in order to meet the recommended carbon quotas by the experts. Is that going to happen? I don't know. That's pretty dramatic reduction of standard of living if we're really going to do all this, net zero, carbon net zero, and all this stuff. So whether this happens, I kind of doubt. Something will happen between now and then, but we'll see. But getting into more of the wacky ways, if we're really serious, and again, I'm not trying to get into whether or not this is real or not real. Let's just take it as is, and take some of the more wacky ways. Look at your dogs, your pet dogs. There's about 90 million pet dogs in America, about the same number of SUVs, and yet a dog consumes more carbon footprint than an SUV. Did you know that? I didn't until I saw this report. So I mean, sometimes it's twice as much, even more. So if you want to eliminate those SUVs, let's just get rid of Fido. Well, okay, maybe that's I'm speaking horrors to people that have pet dogs, but hey, what's more important, the planet or your dog? Anyway, it is what it is. But here's some of those wacky ways. Now, some of these you probably ever heard of. Eliminate Fido is one. We can offset the SUVs. Buy perfume, bathe less. They want us to bathe less, smell more. But if we use perfume, we don't have to worry about that. Focus on cleaner fossil fuels rather than EVs, kind of mentioned before. And promoting wood burning stove instead of saying that eliminating them, we should encourage it and find ways that people can go out and get those rotting wood and burn them in our wood burning stove. At least we get some value out of it. Yes, it will produce carbon emissions, but they're producing carbon emissions anyway. Another one here there's something of my pet peeve is the dual-use plastic bag. So you have to pay 10–20 cents for a plastic bag. But why not make a proper plastic bag so you can use it as a garbage bag? Some of these are so flimsy they break, and so you put those plastic bags inside your garbage bag. About 10% of all plastic bags are garbage bags, so we could eliminate 10% by just giving you a proper bag that you could reuse as your garbage bag. Well, it's a simple thing to do. But here's the big issue. You have to tax China imports. And of course that means that if you tax those imports, that means your products are going to have to get expensive. So that's probably where, if you don't do that, it's not serious, because that's where all your emissions are coming from, is China. You know, products closer to home, so you don't have all the transportation costs, etc., etc. Strict immigration control. Here's a big one. Why do we invite low carbon footprint people to come to high carbon footprint countries? If you just reduce immigration, you could reduce global greenhouse effects by 10-20%. But nobody wants to do that, right? Interesting. But this is one you might be able to get the left and right to agree on: immigration control to fight climate change. In any case, take our online poll. Do you think carbon passports are coming or not? And look at the AI, and they'll tell you all the benefits of these carbon passports it could bring. Don't forget to subscribe.